Welcome to the Modern Day Cottage. I'm Emily Ryder and this is my daughter, Ruby Ann. Today we're going to replenish and clean out our cottage kitchen and pantry, as well as strain some lacto-fermenting elixirs off and to start some water kefir.
We will also share our cottage recipes that include sourdough lemon poppy pound cake and a delicious strawberry frappuccino. We hope you enjoyed this video.
Eat,
Sleep,
cottage, repeat. Today we're going to be doing some spring cleaning in our cottage kitchen. Our refrigerator is in desperate need of a deep clean, so we're going to tackle that first. We make every meal from scratch, from breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Even our snacks are made from scratch. We do have to buy milk and dairy products from the store. We do not have a cow or a working homestead here. We have chickens and a cottage garden. But for the most part, we do rely heavily on dairy products from the store, as well as some other consumable products. We use our walk-in shower to clean the big parts of the refrigerator. I really like to get every nook and cranny clean in the refrigerator. I don't like a crusty, stinky refrigerator, and so this was in desperate need of help. We have just recently brought in a new family member, my mother, and so we have more meals to cook and more produce to have to store. So that's going to take some rearranging and organizing in the refrigerator to get everything back in its place. I know it looks like a lot in there, but again, we make everything from scratch, from breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as our snacks. Phew, that was a lot of work, but our refrigerator is now sparkling clean. Now let's move on to the fun part, making some delicious recipes. First up, Ruby Ann is going to be making a refreshing strawberry and cream frappuccino. It's perfect for a warm spring day. We'll also show you how to make a simple syrup that you can use in a variety of drinks and desserts. You can find that at themoderndaycottage.com, both the strawberry and cream frappuccino and the strawberry simple syrup. We will have that on our blog. You can print out the recipe card and you can also follow the directions on the blog as well. I'm going to start the simple syrup, and Ruby Ann has started the Ticino for our strawberry and cream frappuccino. We don't use coffee, we use a coffee alternative for many reasons. One, I don't think that coffee is good for a growing teen. That would not be good. And number two, I cannot digest coffee that well. It keeps me up at night. It does not do well for me. I love the taste of it. I just don't like the side effects of coffee. Now, some people may need that energy. I do not. I'm just not geared that way. I don't need extra energy. If you know me, you know that I do not need extra energy. I strained off the strawberries to make the syrup, and it's going to set, and as it sets, it will actually thicken up. So, and you can store this in the refrigerator. Again, on the blog post, it tells you all the tips and tricks and storage ideas as well. Ruby Ann is going to use the Vitamix. I highly recommend a Vitamix. I know they are uber expensive, but you can find them refurbished on the Vitamix site. That's what we did. And we have had this Vitamix since 2016. It has been used a lot. It has been a workhorse, and I highly recommend a Vitamix. I have went through so many different kinds of blenders and probably spent way more than if I would have just purchased one Vitamix and been done. It does so many different things, and I'm really blown away with the quality and the performance that the Vitamix has done for us here in our cottage. Ruby Ann is using the simple syrup that I made earlier to coat the inside of the glasses. We'll also use it on the top of the whipped cream. This recipe makes 3 tall glasses, and it can be found on the blog at themoderndaycottage.com. We are Amazon and Azuri affiliates as well. So if you click on our links below, we do make a small commission at no cost to you. We're going to be cleaning up our half-gallon mason jars to store our Redmond sea salt that we purchased from Azuri Standard. If you don't know about Azuri Standard, I would love to let you in on this little secret. It is a great place to order your dry goods, your house cleaning items as well. It is just a great place that I have found that beats the health food cost. It just is way cheaper than going to the health food store, and I can buy in bulk and save even more money. So we use a lot of salt here in our cottage. So I ordered 25 pounds of the fine Redmond sea salt. I also have 25 pounds of the coarse Redmond sea salt. I like the coarse, like on eggs and different things that have the texture, and I like the fine when you need to dissolve it really quickly. I also use Celtic gray sea salt, but after some investigation, I don't know if that's, if that's a good choice or not, but I do feel confident in the Redmond sea salt. And I went ahead and labeled each jar. Believe me, when in storage, go ahead and label everything. You will thank me. We are going to restock the King Arthur all-purpose unbleached flour. I do mill our own flour in our cottage with the mock meal and the wonder meal, but I do find that if you use a whole wheat with nothing added, it does make a more dense bread. So I like to cut in with the King Arthur all-purpose flour. Especially some recipes just do better with the King Arthur all-purpose flour versus the freshly milled flour. But I like to sneak in that freshly milled flour as much as I can because of the nutrient qualities that are in them. But I do have breads that are just the whole wheat freshly milled flour, and they do really well. But you have to add in some dough enhancers, which I use sunflower lecithin and egg and milk for my dough enhancers when I use just the all-purpose whole wheat flour. So Ruby Ann and I are restocking our Butler pantry with our flour, and we also restocked the salt as well. We ended up buying a little bit too much flour, so we have a 5-gallon container and a 3-gallon container full of flour. We're going to start our milk keeper. These are dehydrated milk keeper grains, and they will actually multiply and grow as you keep making more kefir. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just waking them up. So this may take 5 to 6 times with fresh milk every 48 hours until I start getting a thick kefir like consistency once the grains waken up. These are water kefir grains that we're doing as well. So I'm starting some water kefir and some milk kefir. Both of those blog posts will be on the moderndaycottage.com soon as I finish up the rest of the blog post and taking pictures as the process goes along to show every step. We use our water here because it's well water and it has been tested. It is absolutely really good water. It comes from Canada. It's an aquifer from Canada. And so far we have had really good results using our well water. We're very blessed to have that well water. We're using unsulfured blackstrap molasses and sugar cane. Our granulated sugar that we use here in our cottage kitchen for all recipes is an all-natural sugar cane. It can be called turbinado sugar as well if you see that being labeled as such. So we're going to let these set in a dark, cool cabinet, both the water keeper and the milk keeper, for 48 hours for the first batch. After that, when they start waking it up and being fed properly, it can take anywhere between 24 hours to create your water keeper and your milk keeper. And we'll do a second ferment on the water keeper to make delicious flavored fizzy sodas. I guess that's what you would call them. We don't drink carbonated soft drinks here in our cottage. We quit doing that in 2009, and we have saw excellent health results from just stopping consuming sweetened drinks like that from the store. And we also do not make tea or lemonade or stuff like that on a regular basis. We mostly drink water. I know that seems very boring to most people, but to us it seems very natural. And we don't use ice either because that messes up your gut flora when you use ice. I won't get into that, but now we're making a sourdough lemon poppy seed pound cake. We are using a scale. A scale is an invaluable tool for your kitchen. A lot of recipes just use cup measurements, and you will find that your recipes will be off and wonky. And the reason why is because everybody's technique is different, and they will pack it in versus unpacking it, or scoop it in and not pack it in. So it just is not very accurate as using a scale. And we're using our homemade vanilla extract, which in the next video we've got to make a gallon of extract, and we have I don't remember, I think a pound of vanilla beans that we bought from Vanilla Bean King. Alright, so we're using freshly squeezed lemon juice and some sourdough discard. I don't have a whole lot of sourdough discard. You can see it's very thick here, and the reason why is I basically make a leaven and put it in the refrigerator and just scoop out 30 grams every time I'm going to make a starter. And I only make enough starter for that recipe, so that way there's less food waste. So I actually have to create more sourdough starter if I want a lot of sourdough discard. We're using our pasture raised eggs. That's why they're so bright and yellow. They eat all of that chlorophyll, and they're just really high in omega-3 and omega-6 and a lot of nutrients out there in the pasture. And I'm going to make a glaze with powdered sugar, lemon juice, and whipping cream. When you make this sourdough lemon poppy seed pound cake, use fresh squeezed lemons. The lemon juice from the store does not have the acidity, the bright taste as fresh lemons do. It is one of the key components in baking. Also, using homemade vanilla extract. We use spiced rum, and that tends to really elevate your baked goods because it has caramel notes and vanilla notes. It's just a lot more complex than your basic vanilla extract from the store that they just use alcohol, like plain alcohol or vodka, you know, in the mixture. It doesn't really have a taste profile to it other than the vanilla beans. But this just makes a more complex flavor profile. I tint the pound cake at the end so that way it doesn't keep getting browner on the top. And a tip to make it open up in the middle, take a butter knife and put butter on it and run it through the raw dough before cooking it right before putting it in the oven, and it will actually split it open in the middle. Make that pretty little split if you want that. We just strained off the beet kvass. We take a shot glass every day, sometimes 3 times a day, depending on how we're feeling. It just seems to really give us more energy and more vitality when we do the beet kvass. I promise you, if you've never tried beet kvass, it is an absolutely game changer, especially if you need some liver cleansing or some gut health healing. It has been life-changing for me. I don't know how it will be for you, but for me, and being in my mid-40s, is absolutely a treasure to have here in our cottage kitchen. Ruby Ann even likes it too. It's very earthy and salty. This is our fire cider, and we're using Azuri Standard Wildflower honey. I love that honey. It's darker, it's richer. It may not be for everybody, but I love the earthy, balancing taste of it, and plus it's got a lot more nutrients in it when it's darker like that. I'm giving some scraps to that's Chocolate and her baby. We're gonna call him or her Chicken Little. I think it's a her. And she's a new mom. This was her first little egg hatch, and she's proud of her little chicken. We're gonna do next our thin and crispy butterscotch cookies. This is Ruby Ann's special recipe that she has perfected and loves making, and everybody loves eating them. I made some extra ones for my father-in-law, and I hid the bag, and this morning when it went to go look for them to take them to him, they were completely gone. It was an empty bag with crumbs. So I promise you, if you like crisp and thin cookies, these are absolutely gonna be a treasure in your recipe collection. They are so good. The butterscotch, we use salted butter too. That's another tip. We use unsalted butter in our pie crust, but Ruby Ann uses salted butter in her pie crust, and I will say her pie crust turned out to be better, and it's just the taste is so much better. The unsalted butter has a off taste to us, so in our cooking we use salted butter. But if you're on a salt restricted diet, just use unsalted butter. But we find the salted butter really lends to the recipes and adds an extra flavor profile that you can't get with unsalted butter. Ruby Ann's using an ice cream scoop to make her huge thin butterscotch cookies, but you can use a smaller size. You can make these all different sizes if you want to. If you don't want them flat like this, refrigerate the dough, but we like them flat like this. They're just so good. They won't last long, I promise you. And we will put the recipe below. We don't have the blog post ready for it, but we will put it below. Thank you for watching our spring cleaning and cooking video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. And as always, we will bring you homemade recipes, cottage living, and a cozy home. We'll see you in the next video.